imaging in your mental eyes. Every morning feels like deja vu, a relentless cycle weighed down by self-doubt. It's like you're stuck, convinced that greatness belongs to someone else. You keep questioning yourself. Can I really make it happen? Do I even have what it takes to achieve something remarkable? But what if I told you that those nagging doubts aren't the truth about who you are? They're nothing more than challenges, small obstacles, just waiting to be crushed. Today, we're going to break that self-doubt apart and reveal a version of you that's fearless, unstoppable, and undeniably capable of greatness. This is the turning point, the moment you stop letting fear write your story and start living like you're destined to. Ready to break free? Let's dive in. Step 1. Spot the voice of doubt. Doubt doesn't storm in like an uninvited guest. No, it's far more subtle, creeping in like a faint whisper at the edge of your thoughts, murmuring phrases like, "You're not enough," or "What if you mess up?" And the worst part? It almost sounds believable. But here's the truth. Those murmurs aren't reality. They're fleeting thoughts, like passing clouds that only linger if you choose to hold on to them. One core lesson from Buddhism is to watch your thoughts without getting caught up in them. Notice them, but don't cling to them. They're as temporary as a bird perching briefly before flying away. The moment you start feeding that doubt, like water in a stubborn weed, it digs in deeper, embedding itself into your identity and convincing you that your fears define you. But here's the key. Don't grant it that power. Recognize it and then let it drift away like a cloud moving out of sight. The more you practice this, the weaker those doubts become. Think about it. Every accomplished person you look up to has faced their own doubts. The difference? They didn't give them a permanent spot. They noticed the doubts, brushed them off, and kept moving forward. You can do the same. Instead of reacting to doubt like it's some written destiny, treat it like static noise, unimportant and unworthy of your focus. Don't waste energy believing it. The moment you choose not to give it weight, it loses its hold and fades into the background. Here's your challenge. When doubt knocks next time, don't let it make itself at home. Acknowledge it, but let it pass by without a second thought. You got far more important things to do, like building the life you're meant to live. Keep moving ahead, and always remember, doubt isn't your identity. Your choices are. Strength doesn't mean never feeling uncertain. It's about acknowledging doubt, facing it head on, and deciding to rise above it. Real power doesn't lie in pretending doubt doesn't exist. It's rooted in mastering the ability to move past it. The more you practice letting doubt slip away like a pointless ad break, the less it controls your decisions. Instead, concentrate on your strengths and put faith in your potential. That's how you loosen the stranglehold of self-doubt. Change your mindset from lack to abundance. Doubt thrives in a mindset of scarcity, the belief that there's just not enough to go around. Not enough success, not enough chances, not enough talent, and somehow you're always the one falling short. Sound familiar? When you're stuck in scarcity mode, other people's achievements feel like threats. You start second-guessing your value and viewing life as a constant struggle to stay afloat. It breeds insecurity, competition, and that relentless feeling of not being good enough. But what if you change the narrative? In Buddhism, the lesson is straightforward. Transition from scarcity to abundance. Understand that the universe isn't stingy with success or happiness. There's plenty for everyone. Just because someone else triumphs doesn't mean you're destined to fail. Their victory is proof that it's possible, and that's something to celebrate. Adopting an abundance mindset means you're not squandering energy sizing yourself up against others. You're fixated on your own progress, secure in the knowledge that the world has room for your success too. Instead of battling, you start building connections. Instead of fearing, you start flourishing. You view life as a landscape filled with endless opportunities, and you're genuinely grateful for every single one. Taking action is your best weapon against doubt. The more you hesitate, the stronger your doubts become. It's like feeding them an energy drink. The solution? Get moving. Even the tiniest action can shift your momentum. In Buddhism, reaching enlightenment isn't just about deep thought. It's about actively walking the journey. The same applies to overcoming self-doubt. You don't need a perfect plan to begin. Just take the first step, no matter how unpolished it is. Action interrupts the cycle of overthinking. It sends a clear message to doubt. You're too busy making things happen to entertain it. Whether it's making that overdue phone call or finally enrolling in that course, just start. You'll quickly realize how action weakens doubt's grip as you push forward. Doubt will always show up. Your job is to keep it from settling in. Strengthen your mindset, focus on abundance, and keep moving forward. That's how you stay ahead. One decisive step at a time. Waiting for the perfect moment, forget it. It's never going to arrive. Perfection is just an illusion that keeps you stuck in place. Instead of fixating on doing everything flawlessly from the start, just take action. One uncertain step forward is more valuable than 1,000 perfectly crafted but never executed plans. Buddhism's concept of right action in the Noble Eightfold Path isn't about perfection. It's about mindful, deliberate steps forward, even when doubt tries to hold you back. Your actions don't need to be dramatic or world-changing. They just need to happen. Every move you make loosens doubt's hold, little by little. Think about it. Have you ever dared to take that clumsy first step and suddenly felt the gears start turning? That's because doubt feeds on hesitation. When you're caught in a spiral of overthinking, doubt has you on a tight leash. But the second you make a move, even if it's messy, you reclaim your power. Your focus shifts from the chaotic noise in your head to the tangible reality of the present moment, where change is actually possible. Let's be honest, waiting for everything to line up perfectly is just a sophisticated way of stalling. Taking imperfect action always beats being paralyzed by perfection. Make the leap. Start the project. Initiate the conversation. The simple act of doing something, even if it's rough around the edges, starts to break doubt's hold on you. You're gaining momentum, and momentum is the last thing doubt wants. Every forward step you take is proof that you're capable. You're not just sitting around guarding yourself against fear. You're actively creating your future. The more you choose to act, the more confidence you build, leaving less and less room for doubt to take root. That's why action isn't just about moving. It's a declaration that fear doesn't get to define you. You're not a bystander in your own story. You're in control. You're the one crafting the narrative. Every choice you make writes another line, another chapter. So keep pushing forward, keep building, keep shaping your path. Even if your steps are small or a bit awkward, they're laying the groundwork for your success. Doubt can't thrive in a mind that's too busy taking action. So pick progress over fear. Embrace movement rather than hesitation. Choose doing over doubting. You're more capable than you realize. Just keep moving. Sometimes, looking back at how far we've come is like dusting off an old trophy. It's easy to lose sight of the battles we've already conquered. We get so wrapped up in what's left to achieve that we forget to honor the wins we've already secured. Pause for a second. When doubt sneaks in, it's often because we're fixated on the distance between where we are and where we want to be. We rarely take a step back to acknowledge how much ground we've already covered. That one difficult choice you made, the skill you fought to master, the obstacle that seemed impossible until you conquered it. All of it is proof. Proof that you're more capable than you realize. Proof that you can tackle whatever challenge is in front of you right now. Buddhism speaks of the three jewels: the Buddha, the Dharma, teachings, and the Sangha, community. This reminds us that overcoming struggle isn't about eliminating doubt. It's about using each challenge as a stepping stone to move forward. The path to enlightenment isn't linear. It's built from a collection of victories, some minor, some life-changing, all of which shape us into something stronger. When you take a moment to acknowledge your achievements, big or small, you're not just celebrating. You're stacking up undeniable proof of your strength. You're recognizing the persistence, creativity, and resilience that carried you through tough times before. What got you past previous obstacles? Was it your determination? Your ability to think outside the box? Your refusal to stay down no matter how many hits life threw at you? Those strengths haven't vanished. They're still part of you, ready to be tapped into once again. Your past successes aren't just memories. They're resources. They hold lessons that remind you you've already shown you have what it takes. So, when doubt tries to shake your confidence, flip through your mental highlight reel. Revisit those moments when you pushed through, when you accomplished what once felt impossible. That's where your strength lies. Don't just wait for doubt to fade. Act with the confidence you've already earned and keep stacking your wins. Your past victories aren't just stories. They're the marks of your battles. Proof that you've faced challenges head-on and triumphed. Own them. Wear them like badges of honor and let them ignite your next move. Let's be clear. Reflecting on your past successes isn't about giving yourself endless praise until your ego swells. It's about reminding yourself that you're not some aimless soul drifting through life, hoping to accidentally land on success. You've done it before, fought through the chaos, overcome obstacles, emerged stronger. So why doubt your ability to do it again? Too often, we're caught up chasing what's still out of reach, overlooking just how far we've already climbed. You're standing on a mountain of accomplishments, some monumental, others seemingly insignificant. But instead of standing proud, you're busy stressing over the next challenge. Pause. Turn around. Acknowledge those victories, whether it was snagging that tough job, walking away from a toxic situation, or simply getting out of bed when life felt unbearably heavy. Those moments are proof of your resilience and ingenuity. Draw strength from them. Gratitude isn't just some fluffy self-help jargon. It's a powerful tool. When you recognize the abundance of your wins, your growth, and the strength you've forged through struggle, you stop obsessing over what you're missing. You break out of that scarcity trap and realize you're already equipped with invaluable assets. Doubt doesn't stand a chance in a mind grounded in gratitude, so take stock of your triumphs and let them propel you forward. And while we're on the subject of mindset, let's confront the glaring issue. your circle. You know, the people who seem to thrive on keeping your dreams small, dismissing your ambitions as far-fetched, or scoffing at your confidence as if it's a flaw. Distance yourself from them, or at the very least, limit their impact on your mindset. Surround yourself with those who don't just cheer when you win, but who push you to stay in the game, even when you're down. If your surroundings constantly drain your energy, doubt will inevitably settle in. Negative individuals relish undermining your confidence and making you second-guess every move. They thrive on criticism and pessimism, essentially fueling your self-doubt with a lavish feast. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of surrounding yourself with wise, supportive companions, people who elevate you instead of dragging you down. These are your true allies, the ones who propel you forward when your own strength falters, reminding you that your potential isn't some distant fantasy, but a tangible reality waiting to be claimed. Embracing positive company builds a solid defense against doubt and fear. Ensure your inner circle is filled with those who ignite your ambition rather than dampen your spirit. It's time to critically evaluate your relationships and prune those that no longer serve you, because ultimately, you need allies who reinforce your self-belief, especially on the days you forget it. Reflect on your past accomplishments, appreciate the strength you've already shown, and surround yourself with people who recognize your potential rather than your limitations. You're not merely surviving, you're evolving. Let both your mindset and your circle reflect that growth. Consider your environment as a mirror reflecting your value, capabilities, and mental state. If chaos, whether in the form of clutter, negativity, or people who act as anchors rather than sails, dominates your space, it's no wonder your mind feels equally unsettled. In Buddhism, it's believed that your surroundings either nurture or hinder your progress. A disorganized space can breed mental unrest, while an orderly and calm environment paves the way for clarity. Have you ever noticed how being around someone who constantly complains leaves you feeling completely drained, or how immersing yourself in endless bad news makes the entire world seem like one colossal, inescapable disaster? That's no coincidence. It's your mind mirroring the negativity it's absorbing. If you want to break free from doubt, you need to be deliberate about the energy you allow into your life. Seek out those who uplift you, fuel your ambitions, and make it feel like conquering challenges is just part of the routine. It doesn't mean cutting people off like you're dishing out pink slips. Just be intentional about who gets a front row seat in your journey. And it's not just people, it's content too. Your mind's like a sponge, soaking up whatever you feed it, whether you realize it or not. So, what's filling your head? Is it motivation, inspiration, and ambition? Or is it constant drama, fear, and that nagging sense that you'll never measure up? Choose your input carefully. Podcasts that expand your mindset, videos that light a fire under you, books that show you possibilities instead of obstacles. Your mental diet matters just as much as your physical one. Garbage in, garbage out. When you surround yourself with positive influences, it's more than just a temporary mood lift. You're fundamentally reshaping your mindset for the long term. It's like building up an emotional immune system, one that identifies doubt as just another fleeting thought rather than some undeniable truth. Bit by bit, confidence settles in, and doubt loses its hold on you. Now, let's address failure, the word that sends chills down most spines. Here's the plot twist. Failure isn't your enemy. It's your coach, the brutally honest friend who points out where you went wrong and challenges you to come back stronger. While most people see failure as a glaring sign that screams, "You're not good enough," it's actually just feedback. It's life giving you a progress report and asking, "All right, so what's your next move?" Buddhism reminds us that setbacks aren't curses, but essential lessons woven into life's natural cycle. When failure strikes, it's all too easy to let doubt whisper that you're not cut out for success, making you question whether your dream is truly meant for you. Hold on. Failure doesn't determine your worth. It simply highlights areas for improvement. See every mistake as a valuable data point, a clue on your treasure map to success. Instead of spiraling into self-criticism, treat failure as a wise mentor. It isn't meant to hold you back. It's there to propel you forward. The issue isn't failing itself, but rather not learning from it. Adjust your mindset. Embrace the stumble. Extract the lessons and rise again. You're not starting from scratch. You're building on experience. Create an environment that fosters growth by surrounding yourself with people and ideas that drive you forward. And when failure comes knocking, don't treat it as an unwelcome guest. Welcome it, learn from it, then show it the door. You have a future to build, and doubt doesn't get a say. Instead of asking, "Why did I fail?" begin asking, "What can I learn from this?" That subtle shift transforms everything. Failure stops being a giant, immovable barrier and becomes a stepping stone, a path forward rather than a dead end. Buddhism teaches that nothing lasts forever. Not joy, not sorrow, and certainly not failure. It's just a moment, a bump in the road, not the end of your journey. Failure doesn't define you. It's merely a snapshot in the grand film of your life. The real question is whether you allow that one scene to shape the entire story. The key is not to let that single moment convince you that your dreams are out of reach. Instead, reframe it as feedback from life, a nudge highlighting what needs tweaking, not a declaration of defeat. Think about it. Winning every single time isn't the goal. Imagine if every pitch, every plan, every idea just clicked without a hitch. Sure, it sounds perfect on paper, but without challenges, you'd never grow. You'd never sharpen your skills, never figure out how to bounce back. You'd just be cruising, and cruising doesn't create legends. Every time you hit rock bottom and claw your way back up, you're not just finishing a project, you're crafting resilience. You're learning how to rise, how to think on your feet, how to evolve. Here's the truth. Failure doesn't show up just to shatter your world. It's there to reveal something you haven't grasped yet. A project flopped? Good. That's your cue that the strategy was off. Maybe the timing wasn't right. The method needed fine-tuning, or you just lacked a certain skill. The real tragedy isn't in the failure itself. It's in walking away without dissecting why it went south. It's throwing in the towel without digging out the lesson buried within the chaos. When you start viewing failure as just another step in the learning curve, it stops being intimidating. You quit seeing it as a sign that greatness isn't meant for you. Instead, it becomes a dare, a challenge to come back stronger. It's life's way of throwing down a gauntlet saying, "Bet you can't crack this one." And your answer should be, "Just watch me." And here's where Buddhism nails it: self-compassion. When you fall short, don't tear yourself apart. Treat yourself like you would a friend going through a rough patch. Would you call them a failure? Of course not. You'd push them to find the lesson and move on. That same empathy needs to be aimed at yourself. It's not about being soft or making excuses. It's about not letting doubt devour you. By practicing self-compassion, failure turns into a minor detour rather than a permanent brand. Reinterpreting failure empowers you to remove doubt from the driver's seat. Instead of picturing yourself as an unfortunate person doomed to fail, you begin to see yourself as an evolving work in progress, constantly learning and readjusting. This shift makes you resilient because even when circumstances worsen, you have the mindset to recover. Failure then turns into a tool, a means to become sharper and stronger with every misstep. So, when you next stumble, don't panic or wallow. Simply pause, gather yourself, and ask, what lesson does this hold? Every fall is not merely an error, it's a sign. Your role is to interpret that message and keep progressing. Remember, no failure is a final devastating loss. It is just another lesson from the school of life. You haven't failed completely. You've merely discovered a method that doesn't work. Every time you rise, dust off your pride, and press forward, you refine your instincts and build something far more valuable than success alone: resilience. Consider this. Failure isn't a dead end, but a roundabout steering you toward a more informed path. Embracing it as constructive feedback rather than a flaw gives you the power to continue pushing ahead. It's not about ignoring the sting of falling short. It's about understanding that the pain has a purpose. You aren't stuck. You're evolving. Once you make peace with failure, doubt begins to lose its hold. Setbacks no longer terrify you because you recognize they are part of refining your craft and mastering your mindset. You learn to let go of the idea that one misstep defines you. Instead, it becomes a stepping stone to wiser choices and greater insight. Now consider another mindset shift: affirmations. You've likely heard these brief, positive declarations repeated as if casting a spell. The fascinating truth is that they work, not through magic, but through psychology. Your brain is wired to believe what it hears repeatedly. So, if you consistently feed it negativity, self-doubt, and tales of failure, that's precisely the narrative it will follow. When you change the way you think, when you start filling your mind with affirmations that speak of confidence, self-belief, and worth, you're essentially rewriting your mental code. It's like hacking your own mindset so it works in your favor rather than holding you back. You begin to trust in yourself, not because you possess some unshakable confidence, but because you've trained your brain to see your own potential. Picture this. Every morning, you tell yourself, I am capable of achieving great things. I have the strength to overcome any obstacle. My past failures don't define me, they shape me. Repeat it often enough, and it becomes second nature. It's not just about putting on a mask of positivity. It's about deliberately reshaping your mindset. And science backs it up. Research shows that positive affirmations can actually rewire neural pathways, boosting your resilience and sharpening your focus. It's like upgrading your mental software. Challenges stop looking like threats and start appearing as chances to prove yourself. Sure, some people might laugh it off and say, you can't just talk your way to success. And they're right. Action is essential too. But affirmations give you the mindset to take that action. They're like a protective shield guarding your spirit when doubt tries to creep in. So instead of getting stuck in a loop of negative self-talk and replaying past mistakes like a broken record, flip the narrative. Train your mind to anticipate success, not by denying reality, but by choosing to believe in your own potential. When you approach every challenge with that mindset, you've already won half the battle. Your doubts may be loud, but your determination has to be louder. Program your mind for success and keep pushing forward, because giving up is the only real failure. Let's be honest for a moment. Have you noticed how we're our own harshest critics? If someone else spoke to you the way you speak to yourself, you'd probably cut them out immediately. Yet when your own voice fuels you with doubt and negativity, you just accept it. The truth is, you don't have to live that way. It's time to change the narrative. Imagine your mind as your personal cheerleader. Instead of reminding you of last week's mistakes or whispering that you're not enough, it should be pumping you up and highlighting your potential. That's where affirmations come into play. They aren't just a cheesy self-help trick, they're a workout for your mind. Just as regular exercise strengthens your body, reciting affirmations builds mental resilience. You're training your brain to think positively. And no, it isn't about deceiving yourself. It's about consciously choosing what to focus on. You're not ignoring your struggles. You're simply refusing to let them define your entire story. You're telling yourself, I'm capable, I'm worthy, and I've got what it takes. Why does it work? Because words shape your reality. It's like planting seeds. If you keep watering seeds of doubt, you'll end up with a garden of anxiety and insecurity. But if you nurture seeds of confidence and optimism, you're constructing a mental fortress where doubt has no place. Buddhism introduces the concept of right speech, using words in a way that fosters well-being. Essentially, that's what affirmations do. They involve speaking kindly to yourself and reminding you that you're more than your past mistakes. Picture your mind as a house. Will you decorate it with memories of failure and self-doubt, or fill it with thoughts that empower you and affirm your strength? When you're saying affirmations, don't just go through the motions like you're barely awake. Feel every word. Conviction makes the difference. You're not just throwing out empty phrases, you're declaring your truth. Say it like you mean it. I am capable. I am resilient. I deserve success. The power is not just in the words, it's in the way you say them. And here's the crazy thing, science actually supports this. Your brain's wired to build habits through repetition. Keep telling yourself you're strong, and before you know it, you start acting that way. It's just like athletes who envision winning long before they ever step onto the field. They're not just wishing. They're training their minds to expect victory. You might think, but my doubts are rooted in real things, past failures, mistakes, tough breaks. Fair enough. That's precisely why affirmations matter. They're like the antidote to the negativity you've been absorbing for years. The world already does a good enough job tearing you down. You don't need to add to it. Affirmations aren't just about boosting confidence. They're about anchoring yourself in the now. Instead of constantly replaying past screw-ups or stressing about what could go wrong, you're focusing on what you can control at this moment. It's a way to remind yourself that no matter what's happened before, your mindset is still yours to shape. The takeaway? Stop giving your doubts a platform, like they're the headliners in your mind. Start declaring your value, your capabilities, and your potential. Because the one person who needs to hear it the most is you. So go on, fuel yourself up. Your future self will look back and thank you for it. Listen up. Dwelling on the past or panicking about the future is a full-time job that yields zero returns. Yet, we all overinvest in it as if it were going to buy us a mansion someday. Spoiler, it won't. Now, here's the twist. Affirmations. They might sound like empty motivational buzzwords, but stick with me. They serve as mental guardrails, stopping you from veering into the abyss of doubt and anxiety. Affirmations snap you back to the now, reminding you that no matter how chaotic life gets, you possess the strength to manage it. Imagine this. You're trudging through a storm, drenched and grumbling at the weather. Instead of wallowing in your misery, you put on a raincoat and keep moving. That's the role of affirmations. They won't clear the storm, but they'll ensure you're prepared to weather it. And here's the kicker. Most of the time, the real storm rages in your head. You're not confronting reality. You're battling your own perception of it. If your mind is tuned to doom and gloom, that's all you'll see. But if you flip the switch and affirm, I've got this, I'm resilient, and I'm not backing down, you begin to notice opportunities instead of obstacles. Science backs this up. Your brain can't distinguish between imagined success and actual success. So why not train it to expect the best? Reiterate it enough, and your brain will catch on. It's like convincing your mind to be your best ally rather than your harshest critic. When you make it a habit to affirm your own potential, something remarkable starts to happen. You begin to feel more grounded, more capable, and more self-assured. You're no longer stuck in the cycle of replaying past failures or worrying about future setbacks. You're fully present, confident that you can handle whatever challenges come your way. So, instead of letting doubts take over or holding on to mistakes like prized possessions, remind yourself of your own strength. Affirm that you are resilient, capable, and deserving of every good thing coming your way. You don't need a flawless past to build a powerful future. All it takes is the courage to believe in yourself, boldly, confidently, and without apology. And the next time doubt tries to barge in and take over your thoughts, just shut it down. No space for negativity here. We're busy building something great. You've got this. Now put your mind to work for you, not against you.